While library is at the very heart of the institution, it is the heartbeat of the Hebrew Union College. And when I first became president, the Plow Library, which had been constructed in 1960, was actually in abysmal shape. And it pained me as an academic and a scholar, and as a committed Jew, to see the shape of this library, to know that there were these literary treasures, $1 million in funds. Construct the library not only enhances this library, but it reaffirms the entire mission of the College Institute. As I mentioned, the project was initially $11.5 million, and we discovered afterwards, after we had raised all the college, I mean, when you think about this, here you preserve the library and allow it to be used by current and succeeding generations of students. You create a structure that's environmentally friendly, that meets all the current green standards. So in terms of environmental health, allow alumnus of the college to reflect what I regard as a very mature ethos of gratitude and thanksgiving for the education that he received.
Fundraising effort to expand the building. There was a young man who was a friend of mine. He's about 3 or 4 years older than I am, but he's a friend. Jerry was asked to be on the fundraising committee, and he knew that by doing that he had to give something of substance. And he came into the meeting thinking he was going to give an $1,800 contribution. And when he was solicited privately and he gave $5,000, he started to cry. And he cried because he could do that. And because he felt like he had indeed done something good for himself, let alone a $5,000 gift to the campaign. The other gift was the first time I got $1 million gift. Not the last, but the first. First time I got $1 million gift. And we're sitting at lunch, myself and the president of the congregation and a husband and wife, and we're sitting there, and they told us at lunch that we would get this $1 million gift, and the president and I went outside afterwards and we just let go. And it was a spiritual moment for us. We had about the most successful moment we could have hoped for.
The chair, or one of the vice chairs of the division, was giving at a level right below major gifts, and I knew that he was capable of being at major gifts level. And before the caucus started, I went up to him and I said, you know, this is the year you need to be part of major gifts. You're part of that group. You know, socially, it would really be impactful if you consider that. Mm-hmm. And he looked at me kind of like I was saying something really ridiculous. And, you know, and I was very, you know, nonchalant about it, just like I did with you. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the caucus started, and several of the guys who I've never heard say anything about why they were even involved in Jewish communal life just poured their guts out about why this was important for them, what it meant in terms of generational, you know, flow and continuity, and that word wasn't really popular then, but that's what they were talking about in really deeply emotional ways. And I was just blown away that they had it in them and that they actually shared it with each other. And then this guy stepped up and doubled his gift to become at the major gifts level. And he said, I never even thought about it until Marla suggested it.
Wow.
And I felt really good about it, not because, yay, we got more money, but because this was a man who then went on to be a really significant player in the major gifts community here and share things, and it kind of was the beginning of, you know, another phase of his leadership.
Whose son became bar mitzvah and was very touched by the experience, was successful in business, and agreed to have a meeting to sit down to talk about how she can help the congregation grow. And we sat with her, the development chair and me, over breakfast, and we talked about the vision for the congregation, and we showed her various projects we're hoping to do in the long term and some dollar figures connected to it. And she was hearing it, got very excited, and pointed and said, that's me. I want to do that. I want to make that happen. And she wrote a very big check that day and gave it to me the next morning. And the program grew, and we got more interns out of it, HUC students, and that program, in this case our Temple Teen Night, has been transformative. The number of teenagers who are now come through our building and stay year after year has been really significant because of that gift.